Yes, that's right. It's Joe here for Joyrider TV, back with another episode of Show Us Your Cat. Yes, that's right. It's Joe here for Joyrider TV, back with episode 131 of Show Us Your Cat. Show Us Your Cat is, of course, where we take a look around the world at your boats and where it is that you sail them. And you really are in for a treat in this episode. We have got a great range of different boats that we're going to be looking at to fit all tastes. So at this stage in the game, I was thinking, if there were 3 boats that I would really like to have a go on, what would they be? The first one is definitely the foiling Aclass. That really does look like the cutting edge of catamaran technology. Number 2 for me would be, again in the foiling class, the Nacra 17, just to see how difficult it is to sail. I would love to get my hands on one of those bad boys. The third one that I'd really like to try, and you're not going to be expecting this one, but I'd really like to try the Minicat 420. Yes, this is an inflatable. I've never sailed an inflatable catamaran before, and I am just so intrigued to see how one of those bad boys, giving it some beans, sending it, see if you can get the hull flying, that kind of thing, see how fast it will go. In case you hadn't heard, also, it's now 2023, which means the 2022 Global Speed Stick has concluded. Oh yes, and just this week there was a video about the results of that speed stick. Also, in speed stick news, there is now a new all-time leaderboard up, which you can see just if you click here, and there's also a Hobie 16 all-time leaderboard. If you want to get involved, just check out the description of the video below. Anything else interesting? No, it's the winter. There's no sailing going on here at all. So, because there's nothing going on here, let's jump in and take a look at your boat in this week's Show Us Your Cat. We're starting off this week in the Canary Islands, in Gran Canaria, where we have Paco and Simone. These guys have got a Hobie 16, which is, my best guess would be from around 2000. This is due to the sails actually being from the same colours as the ones made for the 2001 Europeans, which were hosted right here in Vasiliki Bay. The guys both moved to the island thanks to their interest and love for the ocean. They both work in the field of ocean resources. Paco's been a consultant in the field of coastal and environmental engineering, and Simone an innovation expert in marine energy. They started sailing for several years on the east side of the island with lasers and 420s, where the strong trade winds and big waves really hammered it there, with gusts in excess of 20 knots on a regular basis. After a couple of years of wounds and muscular pain, the guys decided to move to the sailing club in the capital of the islands, which is where they found this fantastic looking Hobie 16. She wasn't in quite such good shape when they first found her. Gran Canaria used to have a strong Hobie 16 fleet, but unfortunately due to local regulations, the fleet, all but this boat, disappeared completely. But after quite a lot of hard work, they put this boat together, and now, as you can see, they're really enjoying some champagne sailing there. This is the guy's first Hobie 16, but as we can see here, you can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs, and pushing the limits is one of the best ways of getting to really know your catamaran. The more times you capsize, the more times you learn where the edge is and how hard you can push that bad boy. So thanks very much to Paco and Simone and everybody else involved for sending in that great footage and photos of this great Hobie 16 in this great place to sail. If you'd like your boat to be featured in Show Us Your Cat, then all you need to do is send me some pictures or video of your boat and a bit of a description about your boat, what you like to do with it, that kind of thing. And then yes, you will be featured in an upcoming episode of Show Us Your Cat. Again, all of the information you need to know is in the video description below. Next, we're heading to Plönernsee in North Germany, where we have Klaus. Klaus has got a HappyCat Neo. The HappyCat Neo is an inflatable catamaran, and it is actually the smallest of the HappyCat models. Klaus bought the boat in spring 2019, and he's called the boat Wilson, inspired by the Tom Hanks movie Castaway. The Neo is 4.2 metres long, 2 metres 5 wide. It's got a 9 square metre mainsail and a 7.8 square metre spinnaker. Although the cat can be equipped with a trapeze, Klaus says with 90 kilograms of weight on board, there's really no need for it, even when it's blowing hard. Klaus bought the boat so that he could take it with him when he and his family go on caravan holidays. The boat can actually be transported inside the caravan. The easy storage was really a big factor that made Klaus make this decision to get the HappyCat. Klaus doesn't have so much time for sailing outside of the holidays, so with the HappyCat, when they're not on holiday, it can be stored in his basement, so there's no need to join an expensive sailing club or boat parking to worry about. He chose the Neo, which is the smallest of the range, because of the compact size and reduced weight, but also because Klaus knew that he'd mostly be sailing solo. Klaus sails at various locations around northern Germany, Denmark, and even taking it as far as the Bay of Biscay in France. In the future, Klaus has plans to hit Sweden, Corsica and Lake Garda, Italy. Now Klaus is very happy with the HappyCat's performance, top speed so far clocking in at 14.3 knots, which really is cooking on such a small boat. As you can really see here, Klaus is happy on the HappyCat, clipping along very nicely. That central rudder must mean that handling becomes pretty loose if you start flying a hull. This really does look like a lot of fun. Thanks very much to Klaus for sending us in those pictures and videos of his HappyCat Neo. I'd just like to thank you again for your continued support to Joyrider TV. Without your support, I couldn't keep going making these videos. So it's because of you guys who have been supporting the channel that the videos are still coming. So we're now moving across the Atlantic to California, USA, to Dana Point, where we've got Colin, Chris, who's Colin's dad, and Christian, who's Colin's brother, and between them they've got a Prindle 18 and a Nacra 5.8. So back in the day, Chris got the whole family into sailing because he used to sail in Big Bear Reservoir back in the 80s, and 20 years later decided to bring it back and share it with the family. They're mostly sailing in Sail Bay, San Diego, Big Bear Lake and off Dana Point Harbour. Colin's running a Prindle 18 with a brand new square top mainsail rocking number 7. Lucky for some. Their favourite thing to do is to sail the Prindle out of the harbour and sail over to the nearby reef and surf these huge rolling waves. As you can see here, it looks very exciting, and this is some absolutely cooking footage. Chris, Colin's dad, has got the most bitchin' Nacra 5.8 that he drove to Idaho to buy that was in good as new condition. We keep it 100% perfectly dialed at all times and sail every other weekend. We have a yearly tradition of getting 4 to 5 cats together on the beach and setting up for the whole weekend while staying at the Catamaran resort. It's always the best time. Now Colin wants to give a big mention to his friend Shaunsey, who also shreds in a very competitive Nacra 5.8, and he's also running 2 jibs on that bad boy. The Hobie 16 you can see here belongs to Colin's friend Andrew. A big shout out to Andrew as well there. So thanks very much to Colin and everybody else involved for sending in those pictures and video. It really does look like you are having some champagne sailing there on the Californian coast. Next we're heading to Australia, to Eden in New South Wales, where we have Julian and Nora. These guys have got a 1987 Hobie 18. They decided to buy the boat around a month ago. And now here's a cruise eye view of Julian and Nora enjoying the performance of the Hobie 18. Sometimes filming the action can come at a very wet price. So thanks very much for that, Julian and Nora. Hope you're still enjoying some sweet conditions down there at the moment. So next we're heading to Galveston Bay, Texas, where we have Scott, who's been prolific on the speed stick on his Prindle. We're going to take a look at Scott's Tornado Fast Furniture. This is a 1970s classic Tornado with a lot of old school features on there. It's a beautiful wooden finish. It's got the old school jib system with the barber haulers running across the trampoline. Mast rotation, run out to the trapeze. Got the downhaul system, mast rotation. The old school main sheet system as well. But she's certainly a fast boat, and she's been putting in some big speeds, and Scott still gets out on her very regularly down in the Gulf of Mexico there. So thanks very much to Scott for giving us a quick look at your absolutely stunning classic Tornado. So finally this week we're heading down to the south of Brazil, just near to the border of Argentina, near to the city of Ita. We have Eduardo. And yes, that's right, Eduardo is rocking a Hobie getaway. They're sailing on a hydroelectric dam there, which is big enough, Eduardo says, to make our getaway wag her tail, even in light winds. Eduardo's generally sailing with his family, his wife Nadia, and his 2 kids, Lucas and Matthias, who are 8 and 11 years old. The getaway is brand new from 2022, no upgrades, except that they had the head of the mast broken in a mini tornado, and the baby bob fell off with the wind while it was in the dock. But they've fixed that now, and they're sailing now without the masthead float. The region generally just has light winds, so they're sailing just for fun, to go along, relax and chat. And thanks very much for sending in this great footage of your very nice looking getaway and this great looking place to sail. So there we go. Thank you very much again to all of the guys who have showed us their cats in this episode, and we'll see you soon with some more.